What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Classic dropping a car vlog. I'm at work, so I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. God is good. Remember that. God loves you. Christ loves you, and I love you as well. When we read the word, we understand that nothing that's going on now is new under the sun. People may call it something else. They may make it up as something else, but it's nothing new. Maybe a different word, but when you actually open up your heart and your mind and your discernment and you read the word, you do understand that there is nothing new. Everything that we as humans going through now has been endured through somebody who is one of us, who looks like us as a human, a follower, a believer, a non-believer, person with multiple spirits, and even a lot of things that even Christ went through is very similar to what some of us went through as well. So always remember that. I'm praying for you guys to understand that word. Make sure you subscribe to the Taking On podcast, where I talk about professional wrestling topics. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling, the second YouTube channel. It is currently run by the board. When the time is right and when I can be allowed to say certain things about the board, because I don't even know everything about it. I will talk to you about full detail, who not even full detail, because I don't even know much about them, but what I can say, I will say. Just trust me with that. As we are going through these situations, we do have a show coming up July 6th called Red Fighting Blues, the weekend of America's independence. So I'm excited for that. So make sure you get your guys tickets there. It's in Crown Point, Indiana, on the Score Sports Academy. Early start time at 1:15. You see some fireworks and professional wrestling in the afternoon, and then at night see the real fireworks. So it's going to be very dope. I wanted to talk about Backlash. I watched Backlash yesterday. Backlash was also an early show. This is why I like early shows, because I can watch it and then I can find something else to do. After I did watch Backlash, when I got off work, I took my family out to eat. So spent time with them. Shout out to my family. Woo-hoo. But I do that because it helps people if they are booked later that day. Saturdays are the meccas for professional wrestling shows. So if I have mine in the afternoon, people can wrestle, and then they have time to go to their other show or whatever they have to do. They'll be double booked. Some people, they'll be booked at two shows going on at the same time, and then they'll do their show, one show, and then the next. We try not to do that kind of stuff. Not to say that we even trying to compete. It's just I love doing early shows. But France was a turn-up crowd. It was like the highlight of the whole show. It was a highlight ever since they was there, since Friday. Like the way that the crowd loved them. They were singing their songs and stuff like that. France was a very good crowd. Shout out to them. A lot of these crowds overseas and stuff like that, they are very great. And I know a lot of people talk about American crowds, talking about, oh, well, all they're going to do is say what when they come back to the States. And I'm like, it's still a reaction. I get it. I know people are tired, even wrestlers are tired of what chants and stuff like that. But still, it's still a reaction. But it seemed like a very good time for the wrestlers and for the fans in France, because how they were singing songs and, getting together and just working as one unit. Like the crowd was working as one unit, saying everything together. So shout out to them. Going into the first match, it was Kevin Owens and Randy Orton versus Bloodline 2.0, which is Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. It was dope to see Kevin Owens' reaction to the people loving him, because he speaks French, being a Canadian and stuff like that, and they love that. When Randy Orton came out, they were singing voices word for word. It was dope to see that as well. I haven't seen a crowd really sing Randy Orton's song like that, so that was good. When Solo and Tama Tonga, they came out, they just start swinging on each other between the both teams, and I like that because it made sense. Why would Kevin Owens want to do just a standard thing? He want to get the guys that literally try to take him out in the car wreck and have been jumping him for the last few weeks. So it makes a lot of sense. So just when we thought that basically they was going to throw the match out and make them go to the back, Nick Aldis was like, nah, we're going to do this a street fight. So it made a lot of sense. You preserve what else Tama Tonga has to offer as well. You still have him as a man of mystery, but now you use weapons and stuff like that. Now, okay, we really about to turn up. Right back and forth between them. Crowd loved it. Chants, this is awesome. They was chanting, they was singing and all of that stuff. Very good back and forth between both teams. I think a lot of them had all of them had time to shine, tables and all of that stuff. A lot of people loved that. This was a great opener. The end saw where a hooded guy attacked Orton, and it wound up being Tamaloa, who is Tama Tonga's brother, but he was also known as Camacho when he was in WWE the first time, and they portrayed a Tongan man as a Hispanic guy on a lowrider bicycle with a bandana and Dickies and a muscle shirt, and he would team with an actual Hispanic wrestler named Hunico. WWE was wild back in the day. And he was also Micah in Impact Wrestling when he was teaming with Drew Galloway, who is now Drew McIntyre, and also Eli Drake, who is LA Knight. So, history lesson. So he attacks Orton, he attacks Owens, and then Solo, he does the Uranagi, then he does the Samoan Spike, and then they win. So now there's another person in the Bloodline 2.0. It's just two Tongans and one Samoan. Wowzers. It's a lot of families, a lot of blood-tied family there. Tama Loa and Tama Tonga, they are the sons of Ming. And if Ming was in WCW, he was Haiku in WWE as well. One of the toughest guys in the business. A lot of people don't say nothing bad about him. Paul being an MVP, he was kind of protecting Kevin Owens from getting attacked any further from these guys because the Bloodline 2.0 has been going off the rails. So shout out to them. Great way to open Backlash. Second match was the triple threat between Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton, in a short amount of time, is showing that she is a superstar. The crowd loves her, that she's different. The athleticism and stuff like that, it reminds me of Charlotte Flair, and it reminds me of Bianca Belair. Like, to be a blonde, as I'm going to be honest, to be a blonde person, a Caucasian blonde person, and to stick out as quick as she has, very impressive. I know that she gives credit to the trainers and also her boyfriend, Ludwig. I think that's his name. Ludwig, one of them. I don't know his first name. But still, you can tell she cares about the business. She used her gymnast background and everything like that, and it all works out for her. So her going against Bianca, her going against Charlotte or whoever is going to be dope in the future. Naomi, the crowd was spelling her name in her entrance. They loved her. They was dancing with her. They was clapping with her. And there was just a lot of stuff. Bayley, everybody loves Bayley. Singing Bayley, Will You Be My Girl? And everything. The triple threat action, very good match. I think that they showed what a triple threat is supposed to be. I think since the past, WrestleMania 39, I think triple threats have been a lot better than what they used to be. A lot of people, they said that Gunther and Drew and Sheamus had a great triple threat, which it was great, but it was a little dip outs. Like, one person to be gone for 5 minutes, and I don't like that kind of stuff when it comes to triple threats. They didn't do this in this match. I think this match was very good. They would, leave to sell an injury, but they'd come back. Triple threats are supposed to be kind of difficult to win, and I think they did a great job with that because it's 3 people. It's uneven, so there's no extra person to neutralize one person, and you have to pin one person to win, unless you're Roman Reigns and you can pin both guys. But still, I think they did great. I think they all had times to shine with their moveset, with things that they could do. The crowd loved it. Very good back and forth. The finish came where Bayley did a reverse pin to Naomi and won. So I do think that Tiffany and Bayley, they're going to run it back, or they're going to have unfinished business, and I'm here for it. Very good way. Very good match. Third match was Jey Uso versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, one takeaway from this match is that both guys had black on, and they both dang near looked like brothers. That's just one of those things as a tidbit as a professional wrestler. It's like you're not supposed to try to wear the same colors as your opponent because you don't stick out. So both of them had all black. They both look like brothers. I don't know if I was looking at Damian Uso versus Jay Priest. That's how it looked. They look like brothers. Like, they legit did look like brothers. The skin tone, the hair texture and stuff. They look like brothers. But that's one tidbit. The match itself, very good, very solid. Very, very solid between the two. Another takeaway I didn't like is Jay gotta be bigger than those super kicks that he throwing. He has to. He need to stop doing. If I was Jay, If I had to change something with Jay, I would take away the super kick because he do too many of them. And then when Jimmy's injured, I believe. So still, he does enough for both of them, and they're not even on the same team. You know what I'm saying? He do too many of them. That's his punch. That's his standard is super kicks, because most of the time when he's doing them, nobody really falling unless it's the end. Like him and Damian was exchanging kicks, and Damian's a big, tall, lanky guy. His kicks should really floor you. So I don't really like kickbacks. I like punch exchanges because that's one thing. But kicks is definitely different because kicks are supposed to be harder than punches. So that's my other takeaway. Outside of that, the match was good. The numbers game with the Judgment Day was on point. Damian didn't want them to interfere, but they still interfered. And then at the end, Damian did a choke slam off the top because he didn't see that Judgment Day distracted Jay. And then even when they attacked Jay afterwards, Damian was like, don't do it. The crowd loved it. I think the psychology between both guys, that was top notch. How they were selling with their face and the moves and things like that. I thought they did pretty good. It was a good match. Jay, don't have Jay challenge for championships for a while. I think Jay has dang near challenged for almost every belt, and he's come up short, except like the tags and stuff like that. He lost to Roman twice, he lost to Gunther, he's lost to a lot of people, and he is still main event Jay. He's main event Jay for a reason, but I don't think that you need to I don't think he needs to be in the championship picture until you actually make him a champion. If you do, I think the guy's putting on quality matches. He had a hiccup with his brother Jimmy. Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about that match. But other than that, a lot of people love him and they react. But I will say this. I do think that if Jay will be a champion in the future, Yeet will be out of the picture. I'm just saying. No Yeet, like his brother say. But solid match. Match number 4 was the Women's Tag Team Championship match between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus the Kabuki Warriors of Damage Control, which is Asuka and Kairi Sane. Dakota was not out there, so I don't know what happened with that. Very interesting. But going into it, the match started off solid. They showed vets. They showed the vet instincts between the first 3 went between Bianca, Asuka, and Kairi, and then even Jade showed her power. They didn't just wait for her to be at the end like the people would suspect, because that's how they've been doing Jade. And Jade, she even did like a top rope, a springboard crossbody to both women, which was very impressive. It was going solid, and then something happened. It was a form of miscommunication, or somebody just wanted to do something. But what happened was Asuka became the legal person in the match, and they double teamed Jade. And then when Kairi attacked Jade, Kairi went for the pin, and the ref doing his job, shout out to the ref, he said, hey, you're not the legal person. And then Kairi, I think she either went for the sequence that's supposed to happen. She went too early and was trying to do it, and it wasn't time for that. And you saw like Asuka looking weird, like what was going on, moving weird. And after that happened, it was just awkward for a few minutes. Bianca was outside because she was hurt, and Jade and Asuka and Kairi, it was like they was trying to do something, and it just didn't work. It didn't pan out. You could tell Jade was trying to figure out what to do, and it wasn't her fault. I know a lot of people are going to try to sit and blame her, but it wasn't her fault. If anything, Kairi, being the vet and a person that has more experience, she should have switched something out instead of trying to do something else. Like, it was just so awkward. Like, I don't want to just sit here and blame a lot of it on Kairi, but, Kairi's had a crazy month. Even, like, at WrestleMania where, like, she didn't lead a ring when Jade, Bianca, and Naomi came in there. It was like a tidbit. It was just like, all right, what you doing now? What you doing, Kairi? Like, even when Jade tried to do the gorilla press, it was awkward because Jade could really lift her up, and it looked like she couldn't. It was kind of awkward. So I don't know what happened, but eventually they got it back. And then eventually they did the spot that they were supposed to do with the double power bombs to the Kabuki Warriors. But they did get it back. They got the crowd back, and that's a good thing too. I loved how Kairi tried to do a senton on Jade, and then Jade caught it, then turned her around, then threw her up, then caught her for the Jaded. That was good. That's going to get a pop for me every time. And then Bianca, she did the KOD on Asuka on top of Kairi Sane, and they are the women's champs. Now, shout out to them for that. I know a lot of people are upset with Jade, not all, but some. They're upset that Jade is a champion already because they feel like she's not ready. And these are the same people who do talk about that these belts should be canned and, they don't need to do these belts. So now they got belts you don't like and you still mad. So it is what it is. Like I said, hopefully them having a belt to help them. Maybe they'll make a solid tag division with women and stuff. The Kabuki Warriors, they did good because one, they was already a tag team and they've won belts before. But maybe you will establish a women's tag team champions or tag teams. You get what I'm saying? You already had the championships. But maybe you have more teams that they'll face. So now even that makes them go on Raw and SmackDown, I believe, because they are champions and they can do that. So shout out to them. I know a lot of Jade gave thanks to God, which is always a plus to me. I know a lot of people are upset that, like I said, she won, and then some people try to blame her for it. I'm like, you can't blame Jade for this because Jade, we all know, is new. Triple H says she's new. Jade says she's green, and I hate that she says it. And still, she was in the ring with two women who are established vets, and miscommunication and timing was just off. Stuff should have been changed. Asuka should have just came in and went after Jade, but it didn't happen that way. I don't know why. It just didn't happen that way. And then Kairi, she was still trying to do the thing, and then they wound up going to the ropes. And when they got the ropes and Asuka tagged in, it got smoothed out. So we're not blaming Jade. Jade is still new. So, just because you don't like her, that don't mean that it was her fault. When people don't like somebody, whatever wrong happens, you're going to blame that person sometimes. It's just not it. Main event was the phenomenal, the incredible Hulk-looking AJ Styles versus, I just finished my story, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Both Georgia boys, good match. I had a feeling it was going to have an old school feel to it, and it was. The crowd loved AJ. The crowd loved Cody Rhodes. They sang his song just like everybody else sing his song, word for word. Very good match. Very good, solid match. They started off slow, then they picked up the pace, and it was very good. It was very entertaining. A lot of gnarly moves with burning hammers and suplexes on the apron, the Cody cutters and stuff like that. The stalling suplex to the gory special, basically the gory bomb. Like, it was very good. I love old school stuff. So when Cody and AJ, they did the thing where AJ had Cody like he was setting him up before a tombstone, and then Cody moved his legs and then reversed it. I love old school stuff. That's some old school Sting stuff. Sting would do stuff like that. Bret Hart would do stuff like that. And Owen Hart would do stuff. I love that kind of old thing. And I love that they sprinkle current wrestling to old school wrestling. And it was a very good match. I'm going to rewatch it today because I know a lot of people was talking about Ospreay and Bryan Danielson's match, saying match of the year, but I ain't gonna lie, these two guys, for the first time ever, they definitely put on. So I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen with that. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. I think it is a one-off because usually when they do overseas matches, they do one-offs because it's just like, it's not something they're gonna have for a story, because I don't think Uso is gonna go after Priest again for the time being. I don't think that, Styles may not go after Cody. Who knows? But like I said, if they have another match like that, I'm here for it. Cody Rhodes wins after he does the top rope Cody cutter and then does the crossroads, and he wins the match. Very good match. Crowd went home happy. Cody's first successful title defense with the new belt. Very good match. AJ being 40-something and still doing stuff that he, like he was in WCW or even in Impact Wrestling is impressive to me. To do 450, like, you guys have to understand, doing a 450 off the top rope is very difficult in itself. But the fact that you're doing a springboard 450, which means you don't have that much room for error. You can hurt yourself, you can fall. There's a lot of people that get caught up on the ropes. Literally, we just saw Cody and Carmelo, they had a mishap with whatever they were going to do. You get what I'm saying? And that was just off the second rope. So, very good match. I'm curious to see what happens. Backlash was very good. The crowd was very good. Few snafus, but, it was a very solid wrestling show. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back in France soon. But what do you guys think? Did you like the show? Did you enjoy it? What did you like? What did you not like? Let me know. This is Chris Classic. It's taking home.